G'day and welcome to another episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups. It is the day after the Rylstone Classic 2023 and we've had my mate, Self-Restoration Society, blow a head gasket on his way out of Sydney. He has towed his car here. It is 6:15 at night. It is belting down here with rain, thunder, hail, everything. We've got a mate just turn up in his Mini now. We are just going to be wrenching as long as we need to be able to get this car on the road. All right, so Rohan's just rocked up now. Spoiler alert, the Morris is in the workshop at the moment. We are just gonna work out what we're gonna do and get this thing started. Here he is now. Mate, what happened?
Mate, it's a Mini. Just
Enough
cruised
said.
along and went that
done.
Very familiar burning coolant smell and steam out the exhaust. Yeah, milkshake in the engine.
Yeah. And we got my mate over here as well, Kevin. He's come to help us out and give us some support. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the Mini over here. We're going to reverse up a little bit. I'm going to bring the Hilux in front and then we're going to pull out the awning. So that should give us enough coverage. All right, so here's our setup. We've got the Hilux with the awning. We've got the car here. So we're just going to work out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. I think Rohan was just saying we'll remove the bonnet first. We'll jack it up, we'll start draining the coolant, the oil, probably change the filter as well while we're here, Rohan, I reckon. Got to take the front end off to do the filter, so that might be something for Kev to do. But yeah, we got all the lights, material. It looks like he's got a mat over there, which would be good because yeah, it is just absolutely bucketing down out here at the moment. So let's get to work.
So we're on the same page, man.
Yep.
So we dump oil and I don't think oil has gone into the coolant.
Yep.
I think we've just ended up with coolant into
Combustion chamber. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
Carby off, intake, exhaust off.
Yep.
And I'd like to. I'm not quite sure why it's shatter head gasket. I think we just, when we undo it, like when we undo each of the studs, just check to make sure that none of them are actually loose.
Yeah, like the stud comes with the nut when you take it off. I mean,
yeah. So we'll just make sure they're all, you know, they feel the same as pulling them out. But
sweet.
If you're happy with that, then
no, that's cool. So drain oil and coolant, and then. Well, I've got plenty of spare, so we should be fine.
Yeah, well, I've got about 5 litres that I won at Mingara, so it's good there. I've got a filter. Plus some spare.
Well, if you want, I've got some Gulf Western 2050, so that way if we use that, you just can
flush it. Well, because there might still be some shit in it, I guess. Might hurt to run some shit through it.
Yeah, look, if you want to do that, or if you just want to roll it with the 2050 that I've got, then you've got your 5 litres spare. It's up to you.
I don't mind. I'm happy to buy another 5 litres. For the sake of consistency, I'll use the Penrith that I've got. I'll stick that in it. When I get home, I'll dump it and go again because there'll probably still be some moisture in there.
All right, is that a mat to lay on?
Yeah.
Sweet. Do you want to grab that drain tin? We'll drain the oil. I'll grab you a screwdriver. Do you know what size your sun plug is, Rohan? Is it a 32?
15, 16.
Oh, sick, mate. I'll grab some guard covers so I'm not just going to get wet. Alright, next part is compression check. Alright, go full throttle when you're ready. Yeah, nothing. That's absolutely middle of a donut. It would start to move, but it wouldn't even hold. And finally when it did, once you stopped, the gauge just went back down. All right, go again. Yeah, so we got a leak here for sure. Yeah, that one was better, but the same thing again. They would creep up, and then as soon as you stopped, it would just come back down. To think we could have been doing this last night. Instead of sinking those beers. Oh yeah, the beers were very good. All right. Yep. Yeah. Same thing. I wonder if that seal's not sealing properly. And that's giving us a false reading. I'll just double check. The seal's definitely intact. Okay. All right. When you're ready. Yep. Yeah, so that's not even holding. It could be, it's either very, very, very misfortunate that it's blown between all of them, which I doubt, or the valve inside this is playing up and it's not holding.
Yeah, that's right.
Holding pressure. But
don't worry about it.
We can definitely see though, as you stated, number 3 is definitely wet.
Yeah.
So they usually blow between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Typically on these ones.
Yeah. That's almost what I've had every time I've done one.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
So
especially when they're oversized.
yeah.
They'll shit between those. All right.
Couldn't peer pressure you into coming to the Rylstone, so beers it is. All right.
Just anywhere flat.
Lay it up there. Okay. Kev, do you want to drain the coolant? And I will work on removing the rocker cover. Cheers, folks.
I'll undo this before I have something.
So where's your drain point on the radiator?
It should be at the very front.
The very front.
Of the radiator. Down.
Okay. On that side? Yep. So
what's holding this one? Just this tube?
No. It's a whole series of fuckery to get that out, man. So just if you can
just
get your hand up underneath.
All right. That's what
do that.
Small hands
otherwise, the bumper has to come off, the driving lights and the grille, which is
pain.
just fucking nightmare. But hey, it looks cool when it's all together.
That's what it's about. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all trashed anyway.
Yeah. Right, so we're powering along pretty good. We got the carby off. Rohan's working on removing the top radiator hose. I've undone all the stud and nuts. I've checked all the studs as well. We found a couple of the studs were actually loose, so we're hoping that that's all it was. But when we pull the head off shortly, we should be able to determine what the cause is. Hopefully it's just a bad gasket and there's nothing else in there. We've got a new rocker cover gasket we're going to throw in there as well, because this one is just munted, and also a new intake and exhaust manifold gasket we'll throw in there as well. I think we're almost there. You got a washer down here as well. You dropped.
Yeah, I was saving that for Kev.
Oh, little finger Kev.
Which one?
Oh, it's alright. We got it.
Got it. Now we might have to drop the exhaust.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And the way this is set up, probably going to have to dump the whole thing.
Yep. What if we take the studs out?
Yeah, that's the other option, and that works. Cause I think that's what we did last time, because it was.
But then we'll have to take the rocker gear off as well to do that. So take the 9 studs out, take the rocker gear off, pull the push rods out, and then we should be able to pull the head forward, up and over.
Yep.
Yeah.
If that works for you.
Well, how hard is it going to be to drop the exhaust? Like, is it a pain or is it?
No, like it's only so it's mounted at the back, and there's a bracket on the gearbox.
Yeah. Yep.
So it should.
Yeah.
Be relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
As straightforward as.
I guess the thing is, if we take the studs out, then we can re-lube them, put them in and nip them up, and we know that they're all done.
Yeah, if you're happy to do that, man,
Yeah,
like I'm easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way.
Sweet, let's do that then. Alright, so we've just been wrenching away and the old pizza delivery guys just rocked up. Courtesy of yours truly, Mr. Kev.
Just go grab it from.
Sweet. No dramas, mate. Alright, so what we've decided here is we're just going to remove all of the rocker gear and the cylinder head studs, just to save us removing the exhaust, because it's going to be a bit of a pain if we don't. Anyone that's worked on a classic Mini before knows how fiddly these exhausts can be. So to save us going that extra mile, it should just be easier to remove everything than pull the head up and out. What Rohan's done over here is he's got a bit of cardboard with a series of numbers and holes in there, and we're just going to line up all the push rods. That way we can make sure that it goes back in the exact same spot. Okay. Yep, not a problem, mate. Right, so.
Look, heavy coming in with the goods.
Okay. There's a couple more on this side. There's one more. Yep, cool. Alright, let's move this out of the way. Alright, comes a moment of truth. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Yeah, she's coming.
It's stuck somewhere.
Yeah. It could be the manifold as well. Oh man. Oh, there we go. Alright. Give that a bit of a wiggle. It's got to come out of the exhaust, so the whole thing has to go towards the front. Oh man. Come on. Almost. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's, yeah. Loosened. Alright. That's it. Alright. Now, before we take it off, we need a rag to put the head on.
Yep.
Just so we don't just get stuck in limbo. So there's definitely a milkshake here. There's definitely liquid. Usually what will happen is it'll blow between these cylinders here. or up here where it's the thinnest part. You can see between number 2 and 3, it's quite thick. So what's going on here then? The head gasket must be, is it still here or is it on the head?
No, it's on the head.
Okay, let's have a look at the head. I was looking at it, it looked like the head gasket was still there. Let's come down there and have a look with me, Kev.
2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Take that off. Whoa, she's stuck on there. Right, we're gonna have to use a scraper, I think, to take that off. Oh. Like previously when I've blown a head gasket, it's literally, this is completely missing. So 2 and 3's here. So yeah, because it's only number 3 that has, you can see here, the milkiness.
Yeah, it's the only one that's wet.
Yeah. So definitely a good indicator. This one's wet as well, but doesn't mean that, you know, oil hasn't travelled down through there when we've taken it off.
Yeah. I still suggest it was number 3, but
yeah,
there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing really that indicates, but how? So what we might do is we'll clean up the head, we'll clean up the block, and then do some further assessments, see if we can see any cracks or anything, but super, super weird. So I expected to physically see that be...
Absolutely munted.
Yeah. So we definitely know number 3, so somewhere coolant is getting in. Alright, so we just had a bite to eat. We've just cranked the engine over and you can see here there's a little bit of milkshake on the inside. So we're just trying to work out how the coolant's got in here. Has it been the head gasket or is it something else? So we're going to look into this a little bit closer and just make sure there's no hairline cracks or anything apparent that's causing the coolant to have gotten there. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but we're probably, best case, a head gasket. But as I said, like, where does the coolant come from? Like, there's a coolant jacket here and it may have blown there and come
just
in.
Through.
Yeah, like just very slightly. But it's all fairly consistent around here. Like there's oil, obviously from when we've taken the...
Give it a wipe.
Yeah.
Because generally you'll see a little burn if it's blown through, won't you?
Yeah.
Like it's...
Well, like it's pretty clean here. So where's the head gasket? Let's have a look and see, because if that's it, then maybe it's pushed through there. So which was the front? That's the next part. I think it's gone this way. Yeah, it does, because you can see because of the taper here. So definitely face this way. I'll just turn it over and let's have a look. Just under here. Sometimes, yeah, where the material is, you might see it just blown out just a little bit. It hasn't been sealing in through here. Like, it's not too bad. There's still material there. But yeah, the question is, oh, there we go. Maybe that's it. Yeah, actually that'll be it. There. See how that's all smooth? So it's smooth there, and then it's also smooth here as well. There's no composite gasket here. And then inside there is coolant, so somehow it's blown, I'd say, and come in through here somehow. Yeah, it's all missing there. There's not much carbon build up. It's got to have gotten in there somehow. Yeah, see how smooth and clean that is? And then there's still gasket left there around the outside. I reckon that's it. Well, we'll soon find out. All right, let's clean these up and let's have a look from here. See what we can find. So Rohan thought it was a really good idea to use Hylamar on the head gasket, and I've been doing this for about half an hour now, so I'm slowly getting there removing it. So usually what's a 10-minute job to clean up both the head and the block, we've used about a combined hour of time to get this off. So we're getting there. Head's coming along, which is good. Yeah, there's some serious chunks we're just trying to remove at the moment, but for the most part of it, it's pretty good. So what we'll do is clean both these up, put the new head gasket on. We'll probably run new oil filter, get it to operating temperature, make sure everything's fine, go for a drive. Once we've done that, dump the oil, probably even change the filter again just to make sure that any debris that's in there, we get rid of that. And if we're happy with it, he'll camp at my place tonight and then send it on home tomorrow. Alright, so we are coming to the reassembly process of this engine. So Tomo's tech tip is two things. One, we have two different size head studs. The small ones go at the front, so towards the grille of the car. The long ones go towards the back. Now, tech tip number two is, if you have these out, in my personal opinion, convert them to ARP studs. They are a wicked thing. They are quite expensive, but for what it's worth, get yourself a set of them. Now, in the kit, it actually comes with some assembly fastener. You do need to put a little bit of this on the end of the thread where it goes in the block, so make sure the threads are nice and clean. A little bit on your finger, smear it on there, wind it in, torque them up. It doesn't have to be super tight. It's only a little 4mm Allen key bolt that you need to put in the top, Allen key in the top to tighten up. So just give it a little nip and then go through and adjust them all. Alright, so next part is the installation of the head gasket. Put the head back on, hopefully try and line up the manifold now. If not, we're going to have to wiggle the exhaust, but it should be okay. Nothing stopping us but the doing of it all, mate. Let's make it happen.
One quality part.
Courtesy of yours truly. So we're just hoping that when we put this on, we're not going to have to take the studs back out of it to be able to line it up. It was a little bit dicky to get back on. Sorry, get it off originally. Usually they go on a little bit easier than this. There we go. Couple of native bats kicking around.
Pissing and shit on everything.
So clean down the head surface, clean down the block. Everything's all nice and tidy. Applied some ARP lubricant to the bottom of each of the studs. We should be right, mate. All right, grab the head.
Doesn't love a bit of head.
Right, so this is where it's going to become fun and interesting, all in the same token. So, mate, you line it up, and hopefully we can pull this back far enough. Yeah. Actually, let's get a new new inlet manifold gasket before we reassemble this. Prior preparation prevents poor performance.
And did not prepare.
Nor did we perform. So yeah, new inlet manifold gasket, even though the old one's okay, it's in all right condition. I've literally got like 3 spares, so it's easy enough to throw on. The last thing you want to do is to not replace this, and the gasket compound material starts to come away, which then creates an air leak, which then makes it run rough, and then you lead to problems like this. So for what it's worth, you got it off. Even if it looks okay, just replace it. All right, take 2. So we're just going to realign the cylinder head. We've got the new inlet and exhaust manifold gasket going on now. So now we'll just lower it down, and this is where the interesting part's going to come. We may need to just get a pry bar or something, or a screwdriver if you've got something there, Rohan.
Where did it go?
Oh, see you later. Right, so I got mine back far enough. That's it. So we just need it to line up with the two end parts of the manifold. Okay.
Patina is a good sound.
I wonder. That's it. There we go. Come on. Almost there. Out just a little bit on my side. Can you maybe try and lift yours a little? Maybe it's just distorted a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It'll pull itself in when we put the intake on. I imagine it probably would anyway. It could just be the bracket that attaches the exhaust to the...
Yeah, it might have moved.
Yeah. Once it's on it, it could just pull it straight in. Yeah. I think that might be the kind of the best sort of bet. Or it could just be twisted. Can we try and gently pull this away to realign that side? Because if it's caught on a bit of an angle there, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Cool. Got it. So now, time to put the rocker gear back in. Technically, we don't really need to redo the adjustment of the tappets. Can if you want. If we just bolt it back in the way we go, or sorry, the way it came out, we should be okay. But if you want to redo the tappet clearance, we can do that.
We'll see how long it takes us to get this done.
Yeah.
Step
Good point. Cool. Let's get cracking.
Right, so this is not a badly dubbed movie from the 80s. It is in fact a clip of me talking with no audio, and I had to do a voiceover because my microphone had died. So essentially what we are doing here is we're going through and we are running the engine with straight water in there just to help flush out the cooling system and make sure it gets to operating temperature properly, as well as filling it up with engine oil and a brand new filter. Now what we did here is filled it up. We ran it until the thermostat opened, so until everything is working normal, and then we are draining the coolant, or the water should I say in this instance, and then following through and doing another oil change and replacing the oil filter. So it's always handy to make sure that you have spare parts available. In this case we had more than available to us than what we actually needed, so it got us out of the mischief. Alright, so here we are at the very final moments of us finishing the job. Essentially now we've been wrenching for the last 6 hours and we are just all completely exhausted. Rohan's just come back from the road test and we are confirming that everything he has just driven and done, everything is completely fine. He's given us a thumbs up. I've told him to cut it because I'm very surprised at bloody midnight none of the neighbours have come out and told us to shut up. I'm super impressed with everyone's ability, and not only that, but also if you haven't already, check it out on my Instagram page and watch the full story from when he wrote that he needed the head gasket all the way through to us repairing it. Thank you very much to everyone tuning in and believing in us, as well as Kev for bringing the pizzas, being the apprentice, as well as my good mate Self Restoration Society for letting us film it. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on another episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups.